quick feedback on the quizzes that you took. Just a couple items that I want to focus on. In each case, most of the people got things right. In this case, right, in what ways does existing knowledge help you acquire new knowledge? Well, you automatically make inferences because those connections are already there, and that frees up working memory so you can more easily get new knowledge into your head. Chunking does the same thing. It again frees up working memory so you don't have to think as hard. When we talk about it helping you take in new information, you have very rich networks and you have a lot of different access points. You've reduced queue dependency. So you have more paths or more footholds for new knowledge to connect itself to existing knowledge. How does knowledge improve thinking? Again, most people got this. It increases the available amount of working memory. You can see a theme in these questions. Why should facts be meaningful? Because again, you are accessing, I should say, a bunch of pre-existing knowledge or footholds or pathways for that new knowledge to attach onto. How does the fact that knowledge makes thinking faster relate to Bloom's taxonomy? It makes you not have to reinvent the wheel, right? So when I want to build something, I don't have to build a hammer first. I can just go get a hammer because it's already done. Similarly, if I'm solving a problem that I've already solved before, I don't have to figure it out. I just know what to do. Finally, the last one, and this is one that I do want to talk about a little bit, is this idea, is this higher level thinking or not? Now, because this person has memorized a gazillion games, it is not doing any thinking. It knows that when I get to this point in the game, these are the moves that I take, and I am not actively processing really in the higher level thinking sense at all. At one time, I probably did, but right now, I'm not. So make sure that you remember that, because when you take your classes and your students through different exercises, you have to give them something new. You have to change it up in a way if you really want to see if they can do it on their own, rather than giving them the exact same problem they've seen and solved with you before. And that's something that's in the Cerego and something that's in the lectures. As far as the critical thinking quiz goes, everyone seemed to have a pretty easy time with this one. Deep structure analysis is where deep structure comes in. If we're looking at the relationship between both articles, the main takeaway is that critical thinking cannot occur without prerequisite background knowledge. Deep background knowledge enables problem solving and so on. It was something that people went for, but it's not quite correct. In this case, we have Jimmy. The idea here is that it's not that he's not focusing on the surface structure of the problem, it's that he has all these skills that he's acquired, but now he's in a new genre and he doesn't know what questions that he needs to ask. He doesn't have the information necessarily about it to even answer those questions. So it's because he doesn't have the background knowledge in this area that he fails. Which of the following will likely not lead to the development of critical thinking skills? Keeping things simple by using a single example for everything that you teach. That's something that will help people memorize something, but it's not going to help build a concept. I don't get a concept of a dog by just looking at a golden retriever once. I need to develop the concept of a dog by looking at Chihuahuas and Golden Retrievers and Dobermans and Mexican Hairless and French Bulldogs and all the other popular breeds that are out there, all the doodles that are out there. When learning new material, which of the following memory strategies is most likely to develop critical thinking? In this case, elaboration, where you're actively making connections. Accreditation isn't anything. Rehearsal and mnemonic devices are there just to aid memory, but not necessarily to connect ideas to one another. As far as this next problem goes, there are thinking strategies that can be learned. that may lead to critical thinking is true. And finally, the one thing that Willingham would disagree with is that teachers should not realistically expect that their students will be able to think critically in young grades. As you read in the critical thinking article with the blanket exercise, even 4-year-olds can think critically in a very simplistic way, but it is still qualifying as critical thinking, meaning that it has novelty, self-direction, and success. So that's it in a nutshell. There'll be more practice questions when we get to practice quizzes and stuff that you'll be doing for the review. If you do have any questions about deep structures or what critical thinking is, let me know and I would be really happy to help you out. Have a great afternoon.